We're back at a spot that I shot a video at several months ago. I'll put a link up here for you guys to check it out if you haven't seen it. But it's spectacular right now. I'm just not sure how long the light's gonna stay. Let's get set up. All right, here's the composition I'm gonna go for, and I'm gonna have to get going quickly here, but these clouds are shifting around and causing different shadow patterns right now, but this was all in light just a few seconds ago. So this is kind of the composition though. I'm gonna kind of place everything generally in this area, and then we'll kind of see how the light looks here in like a few minutes, and then determine that as we go. This canvas that I threw up there is an 18 by 20, and I was initially considering a different composition, but now that I've changed my mind, I have this thinner format. This is a 14 by 20, and this will work much better for that scene. I will try my best to vocalize what I'm thinking and where I'm going, but forgive me if I don't finish sentences. All right, this is my mountain, Ward Mountain. Still loving this mountain. Comes down. Goat Mountain pops up. Some ridges. It kind of comes down this way, and ridges keep going back, and then Downing comes up and take it off that way. This kind of ridge here comes down, and there's like a driveway right here. That may not work as we develop. I might have to, and actually there's like plants and bushes obscuring that curve. And there's a plant right here. Tree. Group of trees here. The thing I like most about this scene is just that haziness, that late light. I'm kind of looking back into it. So that's what we're gonna try to grab in this painting. This is down in the valley. There's like cottonwoods lining a creek here. There's like houses and barns, stuff. And this hill continues down this way. So that already feels like this is an odd thing that's happening, not a good thing, this straight line here. And it's not actually happening that much in my scene. So that's something I'm gonna need to figure out how to get around. It's just too kind of a stark line. There are trees and bushes and plants everywhere, so that'll help as we develop to kind of obscure this straight line. Skies, there's some kind of cool stuff happening in the clouds. I'm just gonna hint at a few. Let's see. the wrong color. This is like a green, but it's just hinting, and I'm gonna come back. And that's even if I have time, you know, it's for this session. The weather is supposed to be similar tomorrow, so I might be able to get another session on this tomorrow. All right, so I'm gonna start with these big mountains. And I got this kind of crazy brush just from the hardware store. It's a chip brush, and I used it a couple of times recently. So I'm going to use that. I'm just trying to achieve some variety. I've mentioned this a lot in these demos. Trying to just achieve a variety of textures of application, different kinds of brushes like this. It's too blue. Have a lot of time, so I want to get almost close enough, which is not always a good idea. Get close enough, and I'm just gonna get something in there. It is shifting a little bit as it comes this way. The front of Goat Mountain and Downing. All right, I'm going to jump straight to my darks. These dark trees that are coming up right here. These are some of the kind of the just general value structure that you want to make sure these trees are dark and coming forward. They are way, way closer. The mountains are probably 2 miles, 3 miles from me. It's crazy right now. I gotta show you. The light is only hitting right there. But just a second ago, it's just because of the clouds. So just a second ago it was much brighter, much more in light. So it's kind of a fun idea that I could consider. All right, now I'm gonna go for this is just working super quickly, but these greens that are not in light, they're not in light right now. That's a bit closer. And then the row of cottonwoods goes much darker than these trees, but not as dark as these trees. So always remember to compare your colors and your values against other things that are in your painting. You could mix the perfectly right and true color out in nature, but if everything else isn't reading correctly, it won't read correctly either. And I'm just immediately hinting at some of the trees, things that are throughout that valley. Coming forward, it warms up, it lightens and warms up a little bit. It's still not in light, but it's lighter and it's greener. I might just drag some of that up here, just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go again with this chip brush and really wet handle these areas. I'm squinting, they go darker. They're coming towards me and the sun is up here. So it makes sense that they're not gonna be catching as much light. They're in shadow and there's a lot of the dirt is showing. It's kind of this purplish color. I think that could work. I ran out of paper towels, which is always frustrating. So I have like one paper towel with me. And then jumping down to this section, it goes darker as it comes down here. Okay, let's address the road and then jump up here to this light and the sky and then see how much time we have to fiddle with everything. I'll give you guys my palette real quick. I know I don't have it in the shot right now, and it was much cleaner just a second ago before I started, but so this is titanium white. And then right now in the spring, I've been using two yellows, a cadmium lemon, cad lemon, and cad yellow light, yellow ochre, cad orange, burnt umber, alizarin crimson. This is a purple. I grabbed this tube just from the store of violet. It's a magenta. Ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, and this is basically cerulean. This is a different brand I don't normally use, so I don't know what they call it. Black, and this is like an emerald green. So this road, I'm going with a yellow ochre to start, and then I'm going to mix this purple into it, this magenta. And I'm squinting, and it definitely goes much lighter than that. Actually, this area is a little lighter and it gets darker as it comes down around the corner. So let's see if that might work. And if this is an element that just gets too distracting to the overall painting, then I might get rid of it. But it could be a nice element in the painting. Just looking at some of the bushes that are here, they're getting hit with a little bit more light. They're in shadow, but there's still stuff happening. It's still a big blue sky, big cloudy blue sky. Just some plants, stuff around, and then this goes lighter. This side of the hill. So to get to that color, which, whether it's right or not, I mixed into my road pile. But see, I have a feeling that's going to start getting confusing, like as if it might start reading as if this road turns and then comes up here, which is not what happens. So I'm going to make sure that doesn't read that way. All right, let's address the light here and then go to the sky. I'm going to go with something a little more bold and bright, and then can calm it down if need be. Bring it over the base of this mountain. The base award is getting just a little bit lighter. Cleaning up a little bit. And let's look at the trees kind of surrounding the light. They read pretty dark against that. I'm just gonna kind of create some variety back there. They read pretty dark against that, the blue mountain, the blue of the mountain. It's nice kind of transitional blue shadow color. There's these areas where the light, right where the light and shadow meet, is an interesting area that's always something nice to explore and see what varieties you can get on those edges. Squinting, I'm not pleased with that, but let's jump to the sky. With the sky, I've got a synthetic, just a soft, I don't know what shape this is. I guess it was a round. And I gotta clean my palette so I can try to get kind of a cleaner gray for the clouds and a nice blue that's kind of coming through. So I'm gonna go for the darks of the clouds first. And I actually have that black on my palette from the other day. I'm gonna dip into that with my white. I think that could be nice. My brush is wet. My brush is dirty and wet as well. And it's on top of colors on my palette. So I don't know that it's not a clean color. I can't tell you exactly what it's mixed into, but a couple of areas it can go a little darker. I'm just going to add white to that pile. Right in here, it gets really warm. The sun is kind of suggesting through here. Some light. That definitely needs to be pumped up some more. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to leave that for now. And it shifts to blue over here. Let's do that. It's a nice light blue. This time of day, this far down is not too dark for blue. Straight above me is still pretty dark, kind of bends purple. All right, and that's getting the whole painting in there. So everything's there. My light has pretty much completely left, but I still want to, you know, I could just stop at this point and revisit the painting another session. And honestly, if I wasn't making a video, that might be what I do. But I think there's still some stuff that we can work on, even with our light gone. We're missing the brightness in the clouds, the brightness of the clouds in the sky. So they go really light. So I'm gonna get a new brush, see if we can hint at some of that. So much of what happens in the sky, or everything that happens in the sky, is pretty soft, and so I'm okay leaving some of it crazy. I want to soften when I'm squinting, and the things that are catching my eye, I'm just going to see if I can soften. I think I'll do it with a little palette knife. I'm doing this while I'm squinting. I wonder if I can bring some of the dark. Bring some of those dark cloud shapes back in. Oops, not exactly what I was going for. All right, I'm gonna jump down to the mountains and just firm up some of their shapes. Make sure they feel separated enough. There's lots of little varieties happening everywhere, and as I see some of them, I just go hinting at them, like right in here, way back there. The mountains are still green. They won't be for long, but it's kind of that sign of spring. Spring's still up there on the mountains. Stepping back, squinting, I feel like it is kind of, I'm cleaning up some of the issues. I'm not getting that, I'm kind of hesitant to keep working on, especially this mountain, because this is what I was loving so much. It was this hazy, distant mountain with this nice light being hit right in front of it, and it's not happening right now. And so I think I'm gonna stop working on that part and jump around a little bit. This area right here, there is some kind of variety of grass and whatnot right off of this side of the driveway. There's someone's house just, I can actually see barely part of their house right here. So they certainly have a nice view. But I guess if you guys watched my quarantined series of demos from the yard, it's just a rent house, but it has a spectacular view. There's something in the grass, like right over there, and it keeps moving the grass around. So it's keeping me on alert, though I know it's nothing dangerous. There's kind of this this face of Goat Mountain, of this mountain. And so all of this area is kind of the front, and then it turns right here. It starts to go back. And it starts to be, at least right now, this is where you have to be careful is, you know, I'm reading things that are happening now, but I've decided not to work on this, but I'm working on this, you know, and you want it to feel, you know, cohesive when you get done. Some nice warmth still kind of coming through. If the clouds weren't here, we'd still have our lighting. It's not really that late, but they're just blocking it all. As I'm squinting, I am really having a problem with this whole shape in general, and then with this right here. So see if we can do something about that. And it might be just kind of developing this area here. There's still this blue showing through, and it maybe just doing a couple of things to obscure that line might help. There's a hill closer to us. I mentioned it earlier when I was talking about this area, and it's throwing some lighter things onto this hill. So we can do something like this. kind of jumping around a little bit, but just trying to find a few things in here that will ease this on the eye. These trees against the... I want to play with them and bring in some of that background, kind of this holes through there. I think that'll be a nice element. Let's place some of these holes coming through these trees, and then come back into it with the tree color. That looks like the most unnatural tree ever. And those are the things that you have to try to avoid. And that's, whenever, you're unhappy with your painting, or you see a painting that you see some kind of awkward things that are happening in it, often it's that there's just things that are completely unnatural, trees that don't really ever look that way. And so you want to be aware of that as you're painting, and not have things that kind of stand out like a sore thumb. And it doesn't mean, look at how I'm painting these things. It doesn't mean that you have to get your small brush out and paint every needle, but it's the variety that keeps it from looking. There's a piece of grass. It's the variety in it that keeps it from looking too manufactured or something. So now I lost a lot of those sky holes. These trees have also gotten really blue, and so I'm bringing back in some nice greens back into these. I'm squinting, and I kind of like some of this. But there's this area right here, right where that light stops, is it's just catching my eye. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of light and just drag it over here. See if that works. Just gonna simplify some of this. Whether it stays that way or not, I don't know. I'm not necessarily looking to try to finish this. I'm just trying to keep bringing it along. So I just worked on trying to make some variations in this road, and I scraped out some of this hillside here just with my palette knife, just trying to simplify, bring some kind of unity together instead of too much little small bits of variety. And I'm pretty close to just calling this a session, this first session. And I'm squinting. I'm pretty happy with the direction it's going, and we'll see if the weather allows for another session. tomorrow. This bush here is just a bit lonely, and it's like almost dead center of the painting. And there's another bush right here that's starting much closer to me than this. And I think that it actually is obstructing. It comes up and obstructs. It comes across the driveway, and so it might help this area a bit. I don't know, I think that one feels like it needs, yeah, I think that helps. Just adding something. I mean, these are just blobs. These are literally just blobs of color. All right, my lighting is completely different. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop there for this session. And I almost forgot again about my monthly giveaway. If you're new here, once a month, I do a giveaway to the people that are on my newsletter list. So if you want to be on that email list, you can sign up on my website, turnervinson.com. But once a month, I do a giveaway for a small painting, and it's really just a way of me saying thank you to the people that are on my email list. So this month, I'm going to give away two, one for last month and one for this month, because I forgot. And this one is... I'm not really claiming this as my own painting. This is a study that I did from just a photo online. Before I went to Paris last year, I just kind of wanted to get my feet wet with the Paris scene. So I'll sign the back, you know, say it's a study from a photo I found online. But I think it's still a nice little painting. And this one is a little rock study that I did last year near Sun Valley, Idaho. So both of these paintings, and let's see who the winners are. And the first winner is Roger Thornton, and the second is Cassio Oliveira. So both of you folks send me an email, give me your mailing address, and whoever sends me an email first gets to pick which one you want. It doesn't matter to me, and I'll send them your way. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.